Hello, it's Jeannie. How are you? As always, I hope you are very well. I'm doing a video today on some of my favorite things. And I should do these more often because focuses come and go. And I like sharing with you what I'm listening to or reading or whatever in a particular time. So I look forward to sharing some of these things with you. I'm going to start off with a favorite, and this is an old favorite. I mean, like old for my channel. And that is one of my favorite older sponsors, one of my first, Rose Forever, New York. Look. Do you guys remember when I was first sponsored by Rose Forever? It was like, oh my gosh, I think my count was 30, 40, or 50,000, something like that. My subscriber count. And I loved working with them. And I'm happy to say they are sponsoring today's video again. And look at what I have picked out to show you. This is a ceramic vase, so it's breakable. But it came packed so nicely, there was no way it was going to break in shipping. And it is my favorite colors, pinks and creams. Rose Forever was started in New York in 2019. And they make these luxurious, natural bouquets from real flowers, but with a process that makes them last for years if taken care of properly. So I just love this one. They use natural oils to preserve them. And it smells like rose, which I love. All the materials they use are vegan, even in the suede pink and black. Other designs, all vegan. And there are lots of color options, and how they create those vibrant colors, blues and blacks, is this interesting method of pigmentation. They have an enormous array of choices in terms of the containers and boxes, whether suede or porcelain or plexiglass. They're just gorgeous, and lots of different designs. So go on to the link and use my code Jeannie25, JEANNIE 25 to get a discount. And thank you to Rose Forever for getting back in touch with me. I've missed you since we've moved here to Texas. And I look forward to displaying this with all my other flowers. You can see it's going to fit right in with my background. So one of the things I'm going to show you and start off with in terms of some favorites is some tea that I've been drinking lately. And let me show you. it's blooming fruit teas. And my daughter-in-law sent this to me, I think it was for my birthday. Could have been Christmas. I can't remember. And she also sent me this little teapot. Glass. And it's got the little holder, strainer, steeper for these. So let me show you what these look like. They come in different flavors, and I'll read some of them to you. Listen to this. Apple cinnamon, tangerine spice, pomegranate, strawberry, acai berry, pineapple, orange, mango, vanilla, melon, lychee, and peach. And so they're labeled on the front of each of these packets. This one is Passion Bouquet, and I actually have 2 of these containers, and I think as this one got half empty and the other one got half empty, I combined them all into this one. But this one comes from the other flavor selections. So it's like a crafted tea ball, and I'll show you. Look at that. So I'm going to open it and make a cup of tea while I go over some of my favorite things. This is what that ball looks like. Can you see that? So you put it in here, and I have some freshly hot boiled water. Add a little bit more. Sounds good. And now that ball is opening up, and there's a flower in the center. I'll try to show you. I don't know how well that will come through. So I'm going to let this steep for 5 or 6 minutes. Now, you all know, if you know me, if you've watched my channel for a while, I'm an Earl Grey girl. I love Earl Grey tea. And, but it's nice to take a break and do something different for a change, right? Usually I have my Earl Grey late morning, and I have this in the afternoon. I think the caffeine is a lot lower because it's green tea, but I don't know how much lower or if in fact, it's that much lower. Can you see this? When I sit down to do videos, that is the attracting factor for tree trimmers, yard people, lawn mowers, blowers. So if that's what you hear in the background, just know it's because I started recording. I recently did a candle review, and like 2 videos ago. Oh, and I'm going to light this wood wick. It is so beautiful. It's as amethyst and amber. Oh, it smells so fantastic. So let's go ahead and light this. It's one of my favorites. I know I drive some of you crazy with my proximity to fire and flame, lighting matches. Doesn't that sound cool? Sounds like a fire in a fireplace. The first time I ever bought a woodwick candle, I didn't know they made this sound. And I thought something was wrong with my candle. And I think it was somebody who commented on the video that they're supposed to be like that. So maybe this will help drown out that leaf blower. I'll put this right here next to my beautiful flowers. What do you think of my background? I can actually wear green because that's not a green screen. And if I were to wear this green and use a green screen, I would disappear. This part of me would disappear. So. Oh, it smells so good. When I make Earl Grey tea, I add a little milk and sugar, stevia, just because I'm conditioned that way. But this, I don't add anything to it. If I wanted it sweeter, I could add some honey, but I like it just plain. So a couple more minutes on that. So this is Tea Bloom, Blooming Fruit Teas. And listen to what they say. write so small. Okay, flowering tea is the most elegant and artful innovation in loose leaf tea. Tea blooms artisans painstakingly combine freshly picked green tea leaves from high elevation gardens together with edible flowers, resulting in exquisite designs and flavors you won't find anywhere else. Each tea flower is carefully sealed in a beautifully designed pouch to retain peak freshness, and then steeped in hot water, these exclusive creations slowly blossom into a bouquet of breathtaking flavor, aroma, and visual delight. Have you tried these? Let me know. I love them. And this, I've got about 6 or 7 left, so I need more. Okay, so that's one of my favorite things. You like my earrings? I rarely wear earrings this long. Look, they're cats with long tails. I'm just wearing them for fun. Okay, the tea is ready. Can you see the flower in there? It's kind of hard. So I've got this beautiful glass. So let's pour it. Oh, that is good. That is really good. Trying not to slurp. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, the next thing I'm going to talk about is a YouTube channel that I've been watching that I have been thoroughly enjoying. Now, technically it's not ASMR, and most of the time when I tell you I've got a favorite, it's somebody's ASMR channel. And I still listen to my favorites, of course. My girl Maria, Christina, Old School, ASMR Sounds, Lori, Latte, Whisper Audios, and I have a list that I go through. But those will always remain my favorites. But I've discovered this new channel, new to me, and I do not know how. It's called, and it's in all caps, T-I-R. T-I-R. And what it is, it's a YouTube channel where a videographer or cameraman documents the life of this nomadic family in Iran. And I have come to love this family. Now, the translations are very, very scant. He doesn't translate what they say too much to each other, or, what the conversations are. Sometimes you just get one little sentence about it. But basically, it's a nomadic family, and they have very, very little. And it starts out, now you would have to go way, way back, like maybe 8 months, 12 months back, something like that. And it starts off with this woman, Zalika, I think her name is. And she's living in a tiny, tiny little, I don't even want to call it a village. It's just like a campsite almost with other families. And her husband is not there. Hussein is his name. He's working somewhere and he comes and goes. And anyway, one of her sons is playing with some water in kind of a wasteful way. And another woman kind of grabs the hose from him and whacks on his head a bit. Not with the hose, just with her hand, whacks him around. And not harmful. Anyway, he goes crying back to the hut that his mother is in. And she charges out there like a mama bear. And she says, "Why are you hitting my son?" And the woman said, "He's wasting water. Water is a precious commodity." Okay, well, Zulika packs up her kids, her little baby, onto her back. She has a little girl and her little boy. And she grabs a shovel and some water and a couple of things, and she takes off. She takes off. And she walks, I don't know how far, and starts digging her own little hut. And she is doing the work of a strong man. So you're kind of, and the kids, they're pretty helpful for being little, particularly their oldest son, Armand. And I just love this little boy. And he helps his mom. He helps her with the goats. He helps her hold things, pick things up. He's maybe, I don't know, 6 or 7, maybe. Yeah, 6 or 7, maybe 8. Anyway, she builds this little hut. And I guess she had made some trips back and forth to the old camp because she starts bringing stuff, water buckets, a cooking, like a cast iron cooking round. And this woman is amazing. She is nothing short of amazing in what she can do. She takes care of her kids. She feeds them. She's building a hut, a strong hut. And then I guess she goes and gets her goats because now she's herding the goats. And I'm just in awe of her and her strength. I don't know that I could survive with even the same things that she has. I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know how to live off the land. So anyway, eventually her husband comes back and the kids are happy to see him. And he, of course, helps her. And long story short, they go to some other piece of land, pack everything up, and start building a new house. And they're basically building it out of cinder block and plaster. And friends and family come and help. And it's called Ahura Castle. And Ahura is their youngest boy. Well, before long, she's pregnant again. Now, that is never announced. You just kind of start seeing her belly grow. And it doesn't stop her. Being pregnant is not a reason to stop working hard. So I watch these videos. They're anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes long. And sometimes I fast forward a little bit because, it's a lot of repetition. But I've grown to love this family. They're a beautiful little family. And I admire them. And so I would love it if you would check them out and let me know what you think. TILA It's about this nomadic family in Iran. And for me, it makes the world smaller. It puts me in touch with the humanity of someone from somewhere else. And it may be easy to judge for lots of different reasons. But it's just a family. A man who loves his wife, and she loves him, and they love their kids, and they're just trying to make a life. So watch some of them and tell me what you think. So that is the YouTube channel that I've kind of been obsessing over. And like I said, it's not an ASMR channel, but it is very ASMR-ish. Okay, now I'm going to get into some books that I've been reading. Okay. I want to start off with one that I would highly recommend to anybody with any kind of health issue. This is not a substitute for seeing a doctor or following your doctor's care, your doctor's orders. I have to say that because I would never want to say something where you think you should replace that relationship with anything I say or recommend. But anyway, it is by Dr. Natasha Campbell McBride, and it's called GAPS, or Gut and Psychology Syndrome. And it's really understanding the gut and its effect on our health, on our brain, on our emotions, on our overall well-being. And it talks about autism, dyslexia, ADD and ADHD, dyspraxia, depression, schizophrenia, and other things like that, possibly being related to what is going on in the gut. And I don't know if you've ever heard of leaky gut, but sometimes if you've been on long regimens of antibiotics or poor eating or lots of stress or other drugs, leaky gut could be a problem. So that is one. And my friend, who is also my doctor, recommended this to me probably 12 years ago. So, yeah. Okay. Gut and Psychology Syndrome. So, I am in a book club once a month. I meet with about a dozen other ladies, and we go to someone's house and discuss the book that the hostess, if you're hosting the book club, you pick the book. And so we just had the book club yesterday, and that book was Kristen Hanna's The Women. The Women. And basically, in a nutshell, what this is about is the women nurses of the Vietnam War time era. And if I think about it, I don't know that I've ever read a book about those women. There are lots of books about the war, lots of books about, the politics of it all. But this, from a woman's perspective, who was a Vietnam nurse in a MASH unit, a mobile army surgical hospital, what she went through there and then coming home. So in the book club yesterday, it was a very, very deep and touching discussion that we had. And interestingly enough, it really bonded a lot of us women. These are wonderful friends and great women. But in discussing some of the topics in here, it just, we felt very bonded. Because the saying was, oh, women weren't in Vietnam. Well, yes, they were. Well, women weren't, on the front lines in action. Yeah, they were, So, Kristen Hanna's The Women, I recommend it. And if you've read it, what did you think? Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm kind of giving up a future video, what we're going to be doing. I've had this for so long. And it came out in, let me tell you, before I show you, 1983. It is Miss Manners' Guide to Excruciatingly Correct Behavior. And I've been going through it because I'm going to pick out some things to read to you and talk to you about in terms of manners. Manners. I think I have good manners. But what we're going to do is look at things like when you go out to dinner, where do you put your napkin when you get up and leave the table? How do you have your knives and forks? Are they on your plate and the table, like a gangplank? What do you call it? Gangplank? Is your spoon or fork up or down? Just little things that we don't think about or really have to utilize so much anymore. So we're going to do a Miss Manners excruciatingly correct behavior video coming up. Okay? So we're going to learn some manners. Okay. Now, sometimes my husband will stop somewhere and he'll bring something home for me. And where was it that he stopped? It was between Houston and Dallas. And what was it? Some little, farmer's market type place. Anyway, he stopped and got me this cookbook. Farmhouse Weekends. Menus for relaxing country meals all year long. So, I've got probably 10,298 cookbooks. But he thought I needed one more. He's so sweet. Anyway, there are some great recipes and menus in here. And I'm in a couple of gourmet clubs, cooking clubs. As a matter of fact, I'm hosting the next one. I think it's in June, not May. But the menu is already picked out. But another one that I'm in, the hostess picks out the menu and does it all. So, anyway, let me show you a couple that I was looking at that I want to make. Oh, everything. These soups look so fantastic. Look at that. This is smoky white bean chili with chicken. And let's see what else. So they have them broken down, all the recipes, according to the season. So that was fall or autumn. Oh, look at these. Oh. Lemon honey tea cakes with buttermilk glaze. Apple Dutch baby. Listen to some of these names. Sweet potato and sausage breakfast hash. Summer fruit cobbler. Oh, I love a good cobbler. Southern green beans. Oh, so spring parmesan risotto. Baked oatmeal with brown butter, apples, and pecans. Shortbread biscuits. Anyway, so I have been sitting on the sofa in the evenings perusing through that. I just made a turkey chili. And I know that sounds like a fall or winter dish, but I make a lot of soups in the late spring and summer, and here in Houston it's already warm. So what I do is I make a big pot of soup, and then I freeze it, parts of it, half of it, or 3/4 of it, into 2-3 cup size, containers. And they're easy to pull out, thaw out, and have an easy dinner. And filling and healthy. So I make a lot of soups. When I'm done here, I'm going to make a chicken tortilla soup. And then I also have all the ingredients for a potato broccoli soup. So, okay, this tea is so good. I'm hoping my lighting in here is okay. This is my first video with kind of a new setup. So we will see. I think a year or two ago, I did a favorites video. And one of the books I think that I talked about, if I remember correctly, was one of my all-time, lifetime favorites, Watership Down. And I couldn't, it's in one of our big book areas. We have so many books. But I couldn't locate it. And anyway, Watership Down by Richard Adams. If you haven't read that, read it. It's an old book, like from the, 70s or 80s maybe. And it is so full of humanity. I feel like I discovered pieces of humanity in these rabbits. It's a book about rabbits. Rabbits that talk and think and feel like they're humans. And anyway, I love Richard Adams. And so I have not read it yet, but I wanted to show you, kind of to bookend the other Watership Down, was Richard Adams' Tales from Watership Down, and this is the long-awaited sequel to one of the most beloved novels of all times. So, Tales. Tales from Watership Down. I can't wait to read it. So I've got to fit this in between the next book that I'm reading for the next book club. So, not enough time in the day to read all the books I want. But I really want to recommend to you, and I read Watership Down when I was a teenager, like maybe 14, 15, long time ago. And I loved it. So I don't care how old you are. If you haven't read it, please read it. Please read it and tell me what you think. And I'm going to read this Tales from Watership Down. And then, let's see, what else do I have? I'm putting together the Miss Manners thing for a video for you. ASMR Manners. I'll have to think about a title for that. Okay, so you might have to help me. So, that is it for today. Thank you to Rose Forever, New York, for my beautiful flowers. I hope the lighting is good to show them off. I'm going to show this close to you, let you see how real. I mean, you can really see this hydrangea and roses. I love this. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being new on my channel or coming back. I will see you soon in the next video. Goodbye for now.